Heart fans, what's up? Butch Hartman here, so glad you're here. Don't forget we do videos 3 times a week now. Mondays, Wednesdays, and fun days. Kidding, I held up 4 fingers and said 3. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. It's fun. You get to hit something. That'll be a blast. Okay, hey, Disney Studios. I worked at Disney Studios. Here's the odd thing about Disney Studios for me. Obviously, we all know Disney, right? I'm a huge Walt Disney fan. I kind of put Walt Disney up there as one of my major league idols. Growing up as a kid, I obviously idolized Disney because when I grew up, there really was no streaming internet entertainment service where you could get anything you wanted any time of the day or night. When I grew up, if you missed a show on TV, you missed it. It wasn't on anymore. For example, like the Charlie Brown Christmas special. We all know the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Christmas time is here. Love the Christmas special, but if you missed the Christmas special, you missed it. It didn't like repeat. It didn't come on. You didn't have a videotape. You couldn't go to the internet and watch it again. If you missed the Charlie Brown Christmas special, it was done. And so that's the era I grew up in. So there was a show on when I was a kid called The Wonderful World of Disney. It was on Sunday nights, and Walt Disney himself would host it. Actually, when I grew up, Walt Disney was already passed away, so he didn't host it anymore, but it was still on. And if you missed Walt Disney, The Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday nights, that was it. You had to wait till it came around again, or they repeated it, which was hardly ever. So the thing about The Wonderful World of Disney, they wouldn't show animation on it that often. They wanted you to, pay to see it in the theater. But every once in a while, they would show something very, very cool. They would show like Lady and the Tramp, the whole thing, or they would show behind the scenes at the studio. And I would just be, riveted because I couldn't wait to see it again. And so I made sure I was right in front of that TV. So Disney meant a lot to me growing up. Obviously, I never went to Disneyland growing up because I'm from Michigan. In Michigan, if Disneyland is here, Michigan's here, and I was a kid and couldn't walk that far. So I couldn't get to Disneyland. When I finally got to California, when I was 18 years old to come to Cal Arts, a school founded by Walt Disney, it was thrilling. I was so excited to get into Cal Arts, to become an animation student, to learn from some of the greatest Disney animators of all time. Hal Ambro was one of my teachers growing up. There was a guy named Bob Winquist who was also one of my teachers, and just had a great time. I even worked in the famous room A113. That's the room number that's in most of the Pixar movies. So A113, I was there. You could have called it B113 for Butch 113, but we'll make another room someday there. But anyway, A113, I was in there, and some of the top guys in the industry were my classmates. I mean, we were all in school together, but then we all got out of school and just started making our imprint on the animation industry. I went to school with Kirk Wise, who directed the animated version of Beauty and the Beast, the original one. Went to school with Kevin Lima, who directed the animated Tarzan and the movie Enchanted, live action movie, great movie. Also went to school with Andrew Stanton, obviously of Pixar fame, wrote and directed Finding Nemo, and just was a huge part of Toy Story and just really building the entire Pixar brand. So I went to school with a lot of very talented people. Rob Minkoff, director of The Lion King, and just really got to know a lot of these guys. And I got to immerse myself around all this great talent. And I encourage all of you, if you want to be something in the creative industry, if you want to be a writer, director, producer, musician, whatever it is, make sure you surround yourself and immerse yourself with people that do what you do. If you want to be a baseball player, you hang out with baseball players. You want to be a guitar player, you hang out with guitar players. You want to be a writer, director, producer, you hang out with those people that aspire to do that sort of thing. Anyway, okay, so Disney. So it's my first year of Cal Arts, and we have to make, and our assignment was to make an animated film. That was our year-long assignment. By the end of the year, you had to have at least a 2-minute animated film done. And it only had to be a pencil test. That means it's only in pencil. No color, no nothing, no sound even. First year, no sound. Just a film. And so my film, for some reason, I really got into the movie Pinocchio at the time, the original Walt Disney version of Pinocchio, which is one of my all-time favorite animated films. It's just the way they did it, for the technology they had back in the 1940s, to produce a movie of that level at the time is just epic. I mean, not only the character designs, but the storytelling, the background art, the animation, not only of Pinocchio and his friends, just the evil guy Honest John, and then the whale Monstro at the end. That was also the first introduction of the multiplane camera. Multiplane camera was this giant camera, about 20 feet tall, I think, and it had, back in the day, before computers, if they wanted something to look three-dimensional, like if you wanted to push in on like a, let's say a some kind of a house in the middle of a field, you wanted all the background elements to kind of go forth beforehand and give that sort of a three-dimensional feel. You had to use the multiplane camera and put cell levels stacked on top of each other, and then the camera could really push in and look through all these cell levels, and it would appear very, very deep, and it would look very cool. But anyway, Pinocchio's got a friend named Lampwick, and for some reason, my freshman year at Cal Arts, I really got into the design of Lampwick. He was designed by the great Freddie Moore, who was a great animator back in the day, early days of Disney, and Freddie Moore designed Lampwick, and so I love the design of Lampwick. So when I did my animated film at Cal Arts, I designed a kid that looked just like Lampwick. And so my animated film at Cal Arts was about a little boy who goes into a library and gets a book on Dracula. He opens it up and the book turns into a bat, and that's basically the entire story. And then he ducks away from the bat book, and then he runs away. And that's pretty much all it was. That was my storytelling ability at the time. I never animated a full film before that, and coming from Michigan, where I had to use my own stop motion Super 8 camera and my own desk with a little frame clicker. This is the height of early 1980s technology, I'll have you know. To get to Cal Arts, where they actually had animation video cameras and things, was epic. Anyway, I'm at Cal Arts, I'm doing my freshman year, doing my freshman film, and I didn't know this, but at the time, Cal Arts had a program where they would take students and give them a 1-month internship at Disney Studios over the summer. So my first year of Cal Arts is ending, and it's the end of my freshman year, and they chose 2 of us for this internship. And what it was we had to go to the Disney. We had to go to Disney. Had to go to the Disney Studios in Burbank. I had to go there 5 days a week for 4 weeks. They were developing The Great Mouse Detective at the time, which at the time was called Sherlock Mouse or something like that. I forget what it was called. Great Mouse Detective. And then they were working on Roger Rabbit. And they were just animating this incredible animation. I was so intimidated. These guys were just so good. And I got to watch all these pencil tests of Roger Rabbit and all these other things. One of the coolest parts of being an intern at Disney Studios at the time was we got to go, since we were Disney employees, we had access to this place at Disney Studios called the Morgue. And the Morgue is where they put all the animation from all the films. Every drawing, every cell, maybe not every cell, but every drawing, every background, every animated scene, every concept art piece, everything. They put it in this room or rooms called the Morgue, and you have access to the Morgue. And so I couldn't wait. So I would go down into the morgue all the time, but you couldn't take anything out of the morgue. You had to stay in there and look at it. So one of my favorite moments I remember was looking at a scene from Lady and the Tramp. It's at the end of the movie where it's raining and Tramp's being taken to the dog pound, and the other dogs know he's going to be put to sleep. So the other dogs chase the dog wagon, and they're trying to scare the horses into having the wagon fall over. And the camera is underneath this wagon, and there's the wagon, there's all the parts of the wagon, there's the mud, there's the horses underneath. This is all underneath. Now, this is all hand-drawn stuff, no computers at the time. And the 2 dogs running alongside and Tramp inside, and I got to look at this thing. And the pieces of paper they worked on were probably 12 feet long, every piece of paper, and I could barely flip it. You had to like be at a table and flip it just to look at the animation. But the work that went into this showed me that either I was going to die trying to do this or I was going to accomplish it somehow. Now, to this day, I've never been an animator at that level, but I did realize I really wanted to stay in animation because it was so inspiring. It was so exciting, and that was really fun. And we had our own little room, our own desk, and we got to make our own animated film. It was so cool. We had to make a short animated film. So this is my second film I've ever made now. So I'm going to make my second animated film ever, and I decided to make it about a little alien, little blobby alien guy with 2 arms, 2 legs, and little antennas. And basically he comes in, again, this is no sound either. He comes in, he finds a trumpet, doesn't know what it is, and pokes around the trumpet, doesn't know, and he finally gets to blow a giant music note out of it, and he drops it because he's scared of it. He looks at it, he finally understands it, and then he eats it. And that's the end of the piece. And I only saw it one time. I animated it. They filmed it for me professionally on 35mm film. It was a big, giant film like this. And for the life of me, I can't find it. If you guys can find it out there, if anyone out there has my short film for my internship at Disney in 1984, someone please let me know. I'm going to draw the character for you, and here's some of the drawings right now. This is what the alien looked like pretty much. And he just picked up the trumpet, and here's what the trumpet looked like. I was really playing with style. You can see a little bit of the Fairly Odd Parents style in these drawings right here. But anyway, so we did our animated film, and it was great. And then CalArts went by, and I always thought I was going to work at Disney. I thought that would be my career. I thought I'm going to be a Disney animator for the rest of my life, and I never really worked at Disney. So anyway, that was an epic moment for me at Disney Studios, just looking at that Lady and the Tramp stuff. And of course I got to look at a ton of other scenes. One of my other favorite movies is Peter Pan, and I looked at a ton of Peter Pan stuff. Just the animation of Peter Pan, a lot of the milk call animation that he did, just the way Peter would float and just the way he would fly. In fact, if you look at Danny Phantom and compare it to Peter Pan, you can see how much inspiration I got from Peter Pan when I would do all the Danny Phantom flying stuff. So, little inside story for you there. Okay, guys. Hey, well, that's my epic story of working at Disney. I had such a blast. It was a tremendous memory for me. I would still love to somehow be involved with Disney Studios. That's one of my Disney stories. I have others. In fact, I have a very big story about how I was involved with the movie Pocahontas. So if you want to hear about that, leave a comment down in the comment section below. I was involved in Pocahontas, but not as an artist. So figure that one out. All right, guys, thanks so much. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's awesome when you do that. And as always, art gives you power. Use it wisely. Hey, Heart fans, subscribe here to keep up with me, Danny, Timmy, Dudley, Bunsen, and the NOOG Network, my new app full of cartoons, shows, and games. Download it here. Click over here to watch my most recent video, and here to start a playlist related to this video. Whoa, check out that awesome fan art. To be featured here, use hashtag HeartFanArt and tag me. I'm on every social media platform known to man. Cartoon Butch out. Pencil drop.